Hi Pisces, welcome to January and Happy New Year. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and I'm getting ready to do your love TarotScope for January. But first I want to ring in some good energy for the new year, for January, and for this reading. So, and before we get started, I want to say thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel, and thank you for those of you who have taken time out to comment. I really appreciate hearing your feedback. And thank you also for those who have ordered readings. I've enjoyed working with all of you. It's really wonderful to be able to work with people and help people with these readings. So I hope everything is working well for all of you. So let's see what's coming up for January for Pisces. We have a full moon in Cancer on the 1st, a new moon in Capricorn on the 16th, and then a super moon eclipse on the 31st in Leo, full moon again. So it's a second full moon. It'll be like a blue moon, I guess that's what they call. So let's see what's happening. What does Pisces need to know about love and relationships for the month of January? What does Pisces need to know about love and relationships for the month of January? What does Pisces need to know about love and relationships for the month of January? What does Pisces need to know about love and relationships for the month of January? The Page of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Justice card, the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Hangman, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so you start out the month with the Page of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. The Page of Swords is a card of looking into something deeply or checking something out. Sometimes it can be a card of spying or gossip, like you might be hearing news about someone and you need to check it out, make sure it's true. You might be hearing, hearsay, so don't react on what you hear, check into it. The other meaning of the Page of Swords is having to have a difficult conversation with someone. So you may have a relationship where you have to have a delicate conversation. And you have to choose your words carefully because you might be dealing with someone who is very volatile or very quick-tempered, hot-tempered. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of being financially secure, wanting to work. You might be wanting to work in a situation where you don't have to answer to anyone else. Maybe you're starting your own business, or you're working as an independent contractor or a freelancer. In any case, you're surrounded by your home. You have a healthy financial. You're feeling financially secure. You have a nice home, but a part of you is feeling lonely. Like you want someone to share your life with. You might be feeling that it's not enough to have material things. I want to have someone that I can share my life with and have fun with and bond with someone. And you may have recently met someone, or you have this Knight of Cups here, so something's been offered to you. There's this Knight of Cups is a romantic energy. It could feel like there's like a karmic connection between you and someone else. And you may want to move toward making the relationship more formal, or having some type of commitment with this person. If you're in a relationship already, it could just be that you're sharing your feelings, you're expressing love for each other. But Knights can sometimes be a new relationship. And the Justice card, it's kind of like a karmic situation. So this could be karmic reward for everything that you've gone through, everything that you put energy out into the world, and this is like a karmic payback for you know, you may have felt in the past that you were treated unfairly in a different relationship, and this is kind of like a healing or a new beginning where you can feel that you really have a strong connection with someone. And feelings may have come up suddenly between you and this person, or when you met, you just had an instant attraction and things are just developing. But there's another part to this where you're also dealing with someone who's going through a difficult time mentally and maybe even physically. The Nine of Swords is a worry card or a mental torment card. And the Knight of Swords could be someone that has, who's kind of argumentative and can be a little selfish at times and doesn't understand how their behavior affects others. They just see themselves as a victim. And they don't see how they contribute to some of the problems they're facing. And you may be feeling like moving away from a difficult situation, moving toward something new. But you have to deal with this person. You have to talk to this person who can be belligerent at times, who can be difficult and rebellious. This sometimes can indicate a quick departure. So you may make the decision and you want to, act on it. You want to jump into something. So if you've recently met someone, it may be something where you want to jump into this relationship, and it's just, the energy is saying, just don't jump into anything, but carefully consider your choices and consider what you're getting into before you get too involved, for some of you. The Hangman is in your environment, and the Hangman has to do with giving up something for something better. It could be that you're involved with someone or something in your environment is taking a long time to get off the ground. And maybe someone's feeling a little frustrated because they want things to move quicker than you're able to make things happen. There could also be some jealousy. So it could be like there's two people in your life. One person that you're really attracted to and you're moving toward, and another person that you might want to leave behind, but they're giving you trouble. Or they're being argumentative and they're just, they're causing you stress and worry. And you may have to, there might even be some spying involved. So if you're dating two people, or if you're leaving one relationship for another, maybe the other person is checking up on you and finding out what you're doing, wanting to know what you're doing when you're not with them, or something like that. There could be some jealousy. So you want to make sure, you might have to talk to the person and explain what you're doing, and just, be honest about your feelings. I mean, if you're in a relationship that's not working and you're wanting to move on to someone new, maybe you just need to be honest and let them know. I think a part of the reason you stayed so long is because this relationship offered financial security, some type of security, but that's no longer doing it for you anymore. Now you want to move on to something, something more stable, something that's more that works better for you. And the Eight of Wands is here, so doors are opening up for you, opportunities are opening up for you in January. And you might actually be giving something up for something better, but you're making some type of sacrifice. You feel like you're making a sacrifice because you're not totally unhappy with your situation. And this could be a career situation as well as maybe a relationship where you want to move on to something better, something more fulfilling, something more stable, more creative even, something that allows you more creativity. But you don't really want to have to give up what you have so far. And the Wheel of Fortune, in your hopes and wishes, things are changing. So if you're going through a period of worry or stress, you're going to be coming out of that. A decision is going to be made. There might be some kind of legal issue that's worrying you, and you're wondering what the outcome is going to be and how it's going to affect your financial situation or your security. I think that the outcome will be fair. And so if you're leaving, let's say you're in a relationship and you need to separate, or there's some kind of legal tie and you have to split property or whatever, I think the outcome will be fair, even though you're worried about it. You might be imagining all kinds of scenarios, but I think that, and you might have to deal with someone who's being difficult, who may want to just fight and push your buttons. But whatever the outcome will be, it'll be a fair division or a fair resolution. And justice will be done in the end. And then you can move on to the Knight of Pentacles. You're really wanting to work hard. You might be joining up with someone who is very dependable, very down to earth. Could be an earth sign. Could even be a water sign, because the Knight of Cups, I feel like these two cards are related. That on the one hand, the person's very romantic, very idealistic, very, you know, wanting, it feels like it could be a younger lover even, but very stable and down to earth, willing to work hard to make things happen. And this person can be a little bit difficult and toxic at times. They like to cause trouble. They like to create drama. So you're moving in a good direction. You're moving away from someone who is very angry. He's got a lot of anger. And you're moving towards someone who's a lot more stable and a lot more down to earth and calm. So I think it would be a good move. And you are gonna, things are changing, but you still have to confront this person. There are still some residual things that you have to deal with before you can move on to this new life. And it may take some time. Sometimes the Hangman represents needing to have patience, needing to see things from a different perspective. And you could be made the scapegoat in a situation. So if you're leaving one person for another, even though the relationship is really not working, the other party might make you the bad person, might blame you for all the problems, or make you out to look like you're the bad guy. But don't let them scapegoat you. Your happiness is important too. If a relationship's not working, just walk away. There's no reason why you should stay in something that is not working. If something is not working and it's not bringing happiness to both parties, there's no reason to stay in it. And really what counts is how you separate and how you react, how you deal with the situation. And if you do it in a fair way, in a calm and an agreeable way, and not get caught up into drama and vindictiveness, no one can fault you for wanting to be happy and wanting to move on to a new life. So I feel like there are going to be some changes coming up. Yeah, you might be ending a cycle and getting ready to move into something new. So let's see what the astrology is talking about for this year, for this month. So January 1st, you have the full moon in Cancer, and that's falling in your 5th and 11th house axis. So the 5th house is the house of romance, children, creative self-expression. The 11th house is the house of friendship, hopes and dreams. So you may be reaching a point where you're taking a relationship from the romance level, and you want to, and you know, you might be finishing up a creative project or finishing up some work that you've done with a group, and now you're ready to go to the next level or do something new. You might be taking the relationship to a new place. You have Neptune in the 1st house, so you're coming across as very spiritual, very, maybe even kind of spacey. Some people don't understand what you're doing and you're having a hard time explaining yourself. But you're feeling a real spiritual connection, and you want to do something that really helps the world. You want to show the spiritual side of you, the intuitive side of you. You have Mars and Jupiter in your 9th house, so you may want to go out and travel, or you might be involved with education, teaching, learning, long-distance travel, exploring the world. Maybe you want to travel with this person, and maybe this person opens up a new world for you. You might be dealing with foreign companies or foreign people even. But in any case, it's a good time for finishing up some creative project, finishing up, maybe coming to a culmination with your relationship to children, your responsibilities around children. The new moon on January 16th is in Capricorn, and that's falling in your 11th house. So it could be that a friendship that someone that you've been friends with for a long time, it may develop into a love relationship. So you may meet someone, or you have met someone through some type of, even through some type of online activity like internet, or in any case, you're reaching a dream, like you always had this dream of being in a good relationship, being with a person that's also a friend in addition to a romantic partner, and you can have that with this new moon. You can have a new beginning. And it might be someone who's a little different than you, someone whose energy you're not really, it's not a familiar energy. So it could be someone who's grown up, who was raised in a different type of environment, different culture than you. And you have a lot to teach and learn from each other. Uranus in your second house can cause some a little bit of instability when it comes to finances. Sometimes when Uranus moves into the second house, people wind up quitting a regular job and starting their own business or working for themselves in some way, so that the money is like, it's feast or famine, like the money comes in, it comes in spurts. So that could be something that you're doing, that your money is kind of up and down. There could be some instability there. But Uranus does encourage freedom. So freedom to be you, freedom to feel, it just releases you from something. And then the full moon in Leo, which is an eclipse, it's a lunar eclipse. That's happening in your 6th and 12th house axis. So it's really a time where you have to think, where am I putting my energy? Am I sacrificing too much for others? Do I need to do something for me? That because the Leo Aquarius energy, when a full moon, it's always an opposition, and full moons always deal with relationships and bringing two people together. So there could be a situation where you've been sacrificing a lot for someone else, taking care of someone else, worrying about someone else, and you've been neglecting your own needs and neglecting your own health, because the 6th house has to do with health and service and employment. So the 12th house has to do with, karma, institutions. Someone might be like in a hospital. You might have a relative in a hospital that you're taking care of and you're spending a lot of time with them. And maybe you've been giving too much, and this is coming to a head now with the eclipse. Maybe it's coming to an end where you decide, I just can't do this anymore, and I need to have time for me. I need to, because if you don't give yourself enough time for you, it's going to affect your health. You won't be able to continue to care for this other person. So it's about finishing up old karma, finishing up, clearing out baggage that you've been carrying for a long time, releasing. The 12th house is about releasing blockages, releasing baggage, dealing with psychological issues. So you might finally be coming to the end of some type of karmic burden where you felt like you had to give service to someone, and now this is going to be ending. And then you are free to explore. You have Jupiter in the 9th house, which is encouraging you to teach and learn. If you want to go back to school and take some training, or if you want to teach some of the things that you've learned, or if you want to just travel and explore new worlds, that could be a good time for you to do that. The 9th house also has to do with publishing, has to do with the internet, dealing with a global environment. So if you have a business, you might be dealing with people from all around the world, or you might be dealing with educational institutions, spiritual institutions. You might be following a different spiritual path with Jupiter there. You might be just exploring and trying to figure out how you want to make your life more interesting. Maybe, once this burden once you're released from this karmic burden, you're going to feel freer, and you're going to feel that you have more options open to you, and you can explore the world. You're going to be free to explore the world. So I think that the month may have some challenges attached to it while you're in this transition period, but I think after the eclipses have given their messages, you're going to have a chance to have a new beginning where you take better care of yourself. You're going to be released from some burdens or some karma, so that you can have a better life, a life where you have a lot more freedom and a lot more autonomy. And I think that the future looks good. So don't stress out. Don't let your mind be stressed over what's ending. Release it. If something feels like it's ending, just let it go. Don't worry about it and embrace the new. And I think you'll be fine. So that's my forecast for January for you Pisces. I wish you much luck and love and good, successful new beginnings and freedom. Freedom to be you. Freedom to give yourself the nurturing and the rest that you need. So I hope this reading was a help to you. Happy New Year. And I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.